For Maxwell's equations, they teach you the differential and the integral form of them. There are two different forms. One uses the gradient operators and vector multiplication, like the cross and dot product, and the other one uses integrals over spaces, so like flux equations. But they all rely on something called the continuity equation. The continuity equation says that there's no extra charge or energies from anywhere else coming in or out of the equation. The amount of energy that went into a surface on one side is the same amount that's coming in out of that loop on the other side.
But obviously, also, a lot of people would just point at Maxwell and forget, like, Heaviside did a really important reinterpretation of Maxwell's formulas in like 1870s. And so I think that's also, it could be more that these are Heaviside equations as well.
One of the equations of Maxwell's equations is Faraday's law, right?
Right.
One of them's Ampere's law. So all these guys, John Faraday and Ampere, the French guy, these dudes were messing around with electricity in the 1700s, and they just kind of wrote down their interpretation of this all. And then Maxwell came along and said, well, if we just, kind of say everything's this vector field, we kind of get around this problem. It works.
I watched these two AIs discuss Maxwell's equations and free energy the other day. Part of Maxwell's missing equations was that he fully believed in what they called the ether then, and the two AIs were saying that the key part of Maxwell's whole system was connecting electric fields and magnetism together through the ether, and that he was using the ether and had equations with the ether.
Right. Well, this is also like, it was, everyone kind of took the ether for granted, I feel like, until the 20th century, and then really particularly with the Michelson-Morley experiment, kind of just throwing ether out of the equations and pretending that we just have enough answers with relativity. But that's also led to quantum physics, nanophysics, all these ideas that are saying that physics isn't a unified theory. We cannot have a unified theory of physics without ether. I feel like that's kind of problematic.